The Indianapolis Colts have officially become the clown show of the National Football League. Yesterday, it was only a matter of time. First it was Matt Ryan getting benched. Then the next week it was Marcus Brady, their offensive coordinator, getting fired even though he doesn't call plays. And then the walls closed in even more, this time on Frank Reich. He's now out as head coach after they got pistol whipped by the New England Patriots on Sunday. Absolutely brutal. So Jim Irsay's got his banjo. He's got his banjo plugged in. He is ready to fire away and make explanations as to why he did what he did yesterday when it came to the head coach.
We're the fourth winningest franchise in the league since 2000. All right, that means in the upper quartile of winners, we're in the top quartile of that upper quartile. You want to bet against this guy? Put your money down, people. Love to see it. Love to see it. No, the game is not different. We don't build rockets to go to Mars. We're not nuclear scientists. That is none of our jobs here. It's a very simple jobs that we do here. I don't know how to make sausage. I don't know what goes into sausage. But I do know how to build a football team because I've been around for 52 years. There is no problem of perception except some of you guys make a problem of perception, but you need hits, so you got to do it. I understand. I do the same thing. I was a broadcast journalism major, too. I don't know. You guys ever held accountable to your editors bringing you in and say, well, you wrote that stuff. It was all wrong. You're fired. But I'm not sending a fighter in the ring I love. When I think that it's time and let him get pummeled. No. Certain people just have it. They have it. And you see it when you know it. I've never hired a losing head coach. We're the fourth winningest team in the league. It's not about belief, it's about fact. What we've done, we're better than most all. It's that simple. Our record proves it over a period of time. So you don't have to believe much when it's there in black and white.
There. I'm sold. I'm sold.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me first off ask you guys this. What do you guys think Frank Reich's record was as head coach there?
I would say he had a winning record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40-33-1.
Yeah.
And actually, every single time he had a starting quarterback, regardless of the fact that he went through a year after year after year. For example, Andrew Luck's last year, they were 10-6. All right, you go back to Phillip Rivers. They were a playoff team. They had 11 wins that year, 10, something like that. Even Carson Wentz, they went 9-8. And this year with Matt Ryan, they were 3-3-1 when they pulled the plug on him. So they were sitting there at 500.
That would win you the NFC South.
Right. But, they've got in trouble, and really this starts back before, Frank Reich. This is more about Andrew Luck. No one could have prepared for Andrew Luck basically just stepping aside and saying, I'm done. I think that sent this franchise into a tailspin after what they did to get Andrew Luck, essentially tanking to get him. And then him deciding, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. It sent this franchise into a tailspin that leads us to today. And that was quite the press conference. But the truth of the matter is that's how we got here. As crazy as Jim Irsay is or sounds, he's not wrong. They've won a lot of games. I mean, Frank Reich is one of the better play callers, one of the better men you'll ever meet in the NFL. Unfortunately, in this case, he has to be the fall guy, and we could dive into the minutia of how they came about to getting Jeff Saturday. But this franchise has been successful, and especially when they've had their starter. But unfortunately, they've been searching for that guy now, and they didn't feel like Matt Ryan was the guy. I never felt like Sam Ehlinger was the guy. I just think that was something Jim Irsay wanted to do to essentially put him in a position to tank. That's what I feel like they're at now. I feel like all these moves are efforts to tank so they can be in a position to take one of these top quarterbacks in next year's draft. Because there's really no other explanation when you have John Fox, who's been a head coach, been to a Super Bowl on your staff, multiple Super Bowls, and you've got Gus Bradley, who's also been a head coach on your staff. Doesn't make any sense to bring in someone who, outside of maybe analyzing from the outside, has no idea what's going on behind those walls.
I'm glad you spoke to the football side of it because I just want to speak to the person side of it and just listening to Jim Irsay do his interview. I effing love him. Y'all can hate him. People can hate him or think that he's off his rocker or this and that. And he may very well be, but I love him. And I'm going to tell you why I love him. Because he's relatable. I tend to think it's funny, right? We have so many gripes and so many concerns and complaints about guys, and people will complain about him hiring Jeff Saturday. It'll be turned into a racial thing. It'll be turned into other things. It'll be turned into a whole lot of different things. But the one thing that I like about Jim Irsay is he's unapologetically who he is, and he sounds like somebody that you know growing up. And that's the bottom line. I can smell the cigarettes. I can see what the surrounding area looks like. It could be a mechanic's office, and him telling you about how he has to fix the piston and how you have to make some alterations to the exhaust system.
Cigarette burns in the newspaper.
Come on, bro. He's got the tag on his shirt, Jim on his shirt. And you're listening to him. We've all come across a guy that talks just like Jim Irsay. I can't say that about every owner that's an owner in the National Football League. And for right or for wrong, the dude lives in what he believes is the right thing for him to do. He may not always present it in a politically correct or acceptable way, in which we have created maybe the idea of what an owner is supposed to look like or what he's supposed to sound like. But nonetheless, he has done a fine job of being an owner of the Colts. I mean, you can look at, again, you threw out some of the statistics. You can look at what this team has done versus some of these other teams out here, and you can have the debate about what you feel about them as a winning organization, as a successful organization. But the one thing that I take away from this, and I'm taking a little bit of a different angle and a different approach to this whole Jeff Saturday deal. Sure, it's a dumpster fire. Sure, it's a mess. And maybe it's because Andrew Luck left it that way. Maybe it's because of other reasons. I don't know. But he gave Jeff Saturday an opportunity for a reason. I believe, and this is what we're taught as players, I believe the brotherhood of playing the game supersedes anything else. Racial, social, economic, it exceeds that. So the fact that a former player has gotten an opportunity to step in an interim basis doesn't mean he's getting it permanently. It means he's given an opportunity to coach this team and lead this team in a moment right now where they feel like Reich wasn't the guy to do it. Now, how that ends and how that plays out, who knows? But I will say this. It's probably because of the relationship between Jim Irsay and Jeff Saturday that Jeff Saturday is getting this opportunity. And to be honest with you, I hope he succeeds. I hope he has a successful rest of the way. I hope those guys rally around it and find a way to have success. Because to me, to see a player have the opportunity to do it, he doesn't have any type of experience. Well, neither did Deion. Deion wasn't a head coach. Deion was an assistant offensive coordinator, and he's having great success.